Hi, James, mate. Welcome. Evening, Greg, sir. Hey, old pal. Just wait for a few more to join. A bit of a different live. Well, first time I've done this. Speaking randomly about grading. I've got a good few examples to give you, and hopefully someone at least can go away with maybe a bit more knowledge than what they started with. And looked like MLS was sold out on the site. I went to try and buy another flight. Oh, is it? Oh, let me check. I've actually not checked. Let's have a look. Evening, Rob. Logan, what is good, my friend? I still need to reply to you, Logan. I'm sorry, mate. It's been a hell of a week. A hell of a week. So I'm so behind on replying to people. So I do apologize, mate. But I'm in on the idea anyway. I just need time to respond to you. We've only got 9 people. I'll leave it a few more because there were quite a few people, and I don't want to kind of repeat too much, just in case. How many spots we got left? MLS. No, still 4 spots left in MLS. So, I'm to try and buy another spot. Other than 3 box breakaway, I watched. Fucking Robin. Oh, nice one, Aaron. Cheers, mate. Always good to know they arrived safely. What's this for, Brian? This is so we're talking about grading today, and basically what we can do in the UK to submit cards to the grading card companies in the US. Obviously, it's very difficult. There's only really graded gem that I know of that do group submissions, and then even that's only to PSA. It's not BGS, it's not CSG, it's not SGA, it's not HGA. So I'm starting something where we can do group submissions to a breaker in the US who will then do like monthly send me monthly packages of graded cards for this, so for the submissions that we send over, and it's basically just to make it cheaper for you guys, and hopefully someone you trust. So that's it. Good evening. Guess I'll buy one. Thank you, Logan. So that's 3. So 3 more spots in the MLS break. £7.20 a spot. And it says not available. Me and Logan watch. Oh, who was that with then? I'm surprised I didn't see it. It's breakaways. I've been in so many case breaks of breakaways. Let me just try and see why this is not adding to basket. Someone's just bought a spot. Oh, Logan. That's work for Logan. Sunny box rate. Oh, okay. I've not broken with him yet. Where do you want to grade? Everywhere. So it's with the I'll go more into it, but it's with a breaker in the US, and he has a full-time grader on staff. So we'll send to, it says 1 week he'll send to PSA, 1 week he'll send to BGS, 1 week he'll send to the others. So yeah, the main thing is, obviously it helps if your cards are already with me, your cards are already with me, then it's kind of like it's a lot easier. If you need to send them in, obviously it gets a little more expensive because you then have to pay for the shipping and stuff like that. But again, it's one of the points that I will I'll get to. Also £6 for us. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting you get it for £6. So keep it's not clear about anything to be honest. Okay, yeah. Well, we'll definitely get into that. I've got some really good examples. That's like anyone can get, but I'll just show you where to look on grading and basically what grades what. So I think we've been on stream for 5 minutes now, so let's get moving. Right. Thank you very much, everyone. This is basically me talking about grading. For people who don't know what grading is, it's a bit of an explanation of that, what to look for when grading, and then also an idea I had to help people, mainly in the UK, but again, there's people in few in Belgium, few in Holland, Finland. If you want to send me your cards and send it off to PSA, it's the main idea is to make it a cheaper submission process for you. Like I'm sure there's graders all over, I'm sure. But the only reputable one I know of is Graded Gem. And also they'll definitely be cheaper than us, I'm sure. But with Graded Gem, obviously you're only going to PSA. Those are only authorized through PSA. So it really is limited on then what we can do in Europe of where to send our cards graded. And there's always going to be, companies popping up. I think someone said there is one in Europe, but it's about, legitimacy. It's about getting the most for your value, and it's about trustworthiness of the company, right? So there you've got your big. You've got the 5 ones that I know of, which is PSA, which is King, BGS. Then you got CSG, which was actually mainly for comics, but they're now getting into sports trading cards. HGA and SGC. Again, there's not too much to worry about at the moment. I'll keep this talk really just like high level, and if anyone has any more like deeper questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll happily answer them as we go. But yeah, this is just to give a really brief oversight of what grading is for people, what to look for, and then also the prices of what it is per card to grade. So we'll end on that. Right. So as I mentioned, there's 5 big grading companies. Oh, actually, to go all the way back, grading is basically to authenticate your cards. A lot of people use it to increase the value of the card for when they sell. People like to just encase the cards. So what you're looking at is like this. So this is a graded card. This is a PSA 10. Just a really simple card. People like it because it's in the case, easy to stack. But also when you get a really high grade, it obviously means that this card is flawless. Now, there'll be people in the chat who know that there can be some Gem Mint 10s which aren't perfect cards, but they seem to just get a 10 anyway. But the idea behind it is if you get a Gem Mint 10, that is basically a perfect card, and it's the best of that series. So all cards that we receive come in very different conditions, right? So these are all cards I'm going to go through to show you what may grade a 10 and why others won't grade 10, right? So these are what you call raw cards. So the main reason people are in this chat for anyway is because PSA, you get a 10, you're able to sell that for, depending on the card, it could be 7 to 8 times more, 7 to 10 times more than what you could sell for it with raw. What you get with it is it shows you that the card is perfect. It's not being tampered with. And there's no obvious flaws. Like if you buy on eBay, you buy a raw card in eBay, the chances are there's going to be something wrong with the card. There might be a bit of surface damage that you can't really pick up on. The corners might not be as sharp. So that's why people also buy graded cards, they know that if they're buying a graded card, then it's a perfect card. Now, the next thing is the grades themselves. The BGS Black Label is a perfect card. But yeah, and as Logan said, BGS Black Label is literally like the be all and end all, and it's very hard to get a Black Label BGS 10. So the grades go from 1 to 10. 1 obviously being poor, 10 obviously being the best that you can get. A lot of cards when grading, all cards when grading, there's certain criteria that you need to meet, and it's on 4 criteria. This is based on what PSA say, right? So the 4 criteria are corners, edges, surface, and centering. Okay, so what PSA say is those are the 4 elements that we're going to grade your card, and it's very easy to basically they say it in one line on the website is you're just looking for a card that looks beautiful, right? When you go into this card, for instance, this is Christian Pulisic, Domrus. You can think on some people, and there's a few marks which is on the penny sleeve. You can think, yeah, it's a pretty decent card. Well, then the more you look at it, the more you'll see wrong with the card. So as you can see, there's some you might be able, I don't know if it's picked up, but this surface damage on the card, that's just a marksy, that's just a wiper. There's surface damage on the card, which I know I can see there. So that's 1 flaw already. So already that could affect the grade that I get. I might not get a perfect 10. Secondly, you can see, well, the more you look at it, that if you look at this L here, it's a lot narrower than this side here. So that means it's off center. Okay, so that means it's, again, that's 2 flaws there already that you could, hopefully you can pick up on. Right, sorry if sorry, I'm not sorry if this is on camera. Oh, there we go. So again, I know it's a bit blurry, so sorry guys, but this side is narrower than that side, so that goes to centering, right? The edges aren't too bad. It takes a lot to kind of mess up the edges. Usually what happens is if you see like a whitening on the card, but obviously these borders are white, but edges, it's not as much weight as centering or the corners. Now with the corners, just don't know myself, what you're looking for in corners are really sharp corners, right? So 3 of these corners are pretty good. That one, which again, see if I can, that one is a bit soft. So what that means is, again, that's another flaw of the card. You flip over on the back, and as you can see, it's narrower here on this side than it is on this side. Okay, so again, that goes to it being off center. So my opinion, this card wouldn't grade a 10 at all. But that's what they look for. So what they're looking for is absolute perfect card. And let me show you, where's that card that I just had? Where's the card? The Leon Bailey one. Actually, no, yes, it was the Leon Bailey one. So in terms of corners, and this is going to be really hard to see, but in terms of the corners, this was a Gem Mint 10. Okay, this was a Gem Mint 10. If you can see the corners, which is a bit difficult, but I think you can tell how sharp that corner is. And I'll show you something else which will hopefully show up why. So those corners are really sharp. So cornering on this is a 10. Easily. Each corner is really sharp. But this card got a 9, right? And if you look at the corners, you can see there it's quite rounded on the corner. Again, sorry if it's not picking up, but the corners aren't sharp on this one. So because of that, it will have got a 9. The rest of the card is pretty flawless. But because of the corners being really soft, it's got a 9. Okay, so that is sorry, let me just make sure I'm not missing any kind of thing. That is why those are the 4 things that people that the PSA look for when they're grading a card. So when you're checking your cards, because I get a lot of people ask me, oh, you know, how does this grade? What do you think this might get? What you're looking for are those 4 things. So you're looking for surface. So is there any blemishes? Is there any thick fingerprints on the card? Is there any known flaws that you can see? So like I said, even if there's like hairs on there, once you get and I've not got one with me, which is annoying. I thought I did. Like a magnifying glass. If you get a magnifying glass, you will see a lot more. So anyone who's looking to get the cards graded, I can tell you. I can. So yeah, I know it's probably the screen, and the light is kind of half coming in, half not. So I do apologize. But hopefully what I'm saying makes sense. And I just lost my train of thought there. Damn it. Just lost my train of thought. So yeah, 4 things. There we go. So the 4 things are corners, surface, edges, and centering. Now, what I'm going to show you is this thing on PSA website. So bear with me. So this anyone can go on this, but it's a really good guide of what to look for. It's a really good guide of what they're looking for with cards, right? So these are all different types of grades. So if we go into Gem Mint 10, as you can see, this is a really nice card. Now, this is a Mickey Mantle. Like Mickey Mantle 10 is basically one of the rarest cards you can get and one of the most expensive. I think is it the most expensive card that's ever sold, a Mickey Mantle. I think it was a PSA 9 that went for 5.2 million. I could be wrong on that. But you can it tells you basically what you're looking for. I won't go through it all, but what I'll show you is the difference in the 10, the 9, the 8. So as you can see here, this is a little more off center. Can you see this? I'm pointing like you can see my finger. This side here is a lot bigger than these sides here, right? So that's a 9. They do give an allowance for it being off center. It can be subjective. But they do say, you know, on 60-40 basis, it can be off center by that much. The further down you go, the worse the condition of the card will become. So again, if you've got a card, and it works well with Donruss and anything with a border like this for you to compare your card towards, to think, actually, will I get a 10 on this? Will it be a 9? But always just have in your mind is that if the corners are really good, if the centering is spot on, the chances are you will get a high grade. Anything else and any one flaw can affect the overall grade of your card. So again, this is a really high level view of grading. Like, I'm by no means an expert at all. There's probably more people in the chat who've more experience than me, but again, this is just a high level to give you an understanding of what grading is, what people look for. Grading can be different between different companies. HGA use AI technology, so there's a lot more intricacies with grading. But again, I'm just kind of giving you an overview of what to look for. Now, one of the things I've done. Hold on. Left, what is on the is on the mantle? Is that the same with all? Is that the same with all grading companies? So yeah. So basically, it's the same as in. It's the same principle as, which is a good. Is a good question. The same principle as having basically a flawless card, or as near as a flawless card as possible. So with corners, definitely for BGS as well. So, and again, every other company is just kind of follows suit. It's corners, surfaces, centering, and edges. Now with HGA, I've not looked into HGA that much, but they say the technology, I'm guessing all it is mainly scanning of a card to see does the edge line up, which again makes sense. So yeah, it can't be too far off. I do have actually a centering tool that I built myself, but again, I seem to have misplaced. That. Well, that's here, not here nor there. So what I have created is this card. I am going to be selling actually some kits which this is available for, and it's basically, you won't be able to read the writing, I'm sure, but what you get in the kit, how to protect and clean the card, checking for flaws, and then what you're looking for. This is just information from BGS forums, from videos I've watched, from PSA, all kind of just accumulated in a nice handy card. So I have that as well. And I say that because if you are wanting to send any cards through me to Brian in Big Sports Breaks, is to say, this is how, if you want me to have a look at your card, there's a fee, but if you want me to look at your cards, I'll basically be going off this. It's kind of why I always wear gloves as well. I don't like too many fingerprints on cards. That's there. So I'll be going off this, which is something that I created myself. But like I said, I will never say that I'm an expert in this at all. I know how to clean a card. It's literally, it'll be a microfiber cloth. This is just an example. I've got a bigger cloth than this. Microfiber cloth, cleaning the edges, cleaning the surfaces of the card to get rid of the fingerprints, to get rid of any marks on there. I've got the magnifying glass that I use just to make sure that card is as pristine as can be. So there was someone who had a few questions, and again, if anyone wants to put questions in, please feel free to do so. Oh, nice one. Oh, cheers, mate. Yep. Here we go. So yeah, let me just get to these questions and then I will be back with you guys. So I hope that makes sense anyway, in terms of just kind of an overview of what grading is and what people are looking for. Like I said, it's very difficult because everyone in this chat is probably at different stages. Some have no experience, some have some experience, some have a lot of experience. I know, like I said, Logan has been doing this for a long time, so he has a lot of experience. So I'm sure if I, miss anything, he can answer. But then there's people in here who have absolutely no experience. So I've just kind of wanted to do a brief explanation of what it is. So where are the questions? It was Ryan asking questions. How much will it cost, and the limit to how much, and how can we track progress? Right. So that's okay. Let's move on then to the pricing. So bear with me. Let me get the pricing up. I'm sure there's going to be questions here. Pricing. So this, which one is it? This is the price list. Okay, so the colors are in reference of how long it's going to take to come back from and that actually shouldn't be in green. That should have been green. How long it's going to take to come back from each of these grading card companies, subject to change. With PSA shutting, there's millions of cards that are now going to have to find a different place or going to be waited for graded. So these are subject to change. It's not all the same. So don't take any of this as gospel. But roughly, this is what you expect. It's going to be longer for some. It's going to be shorter for others. I've got a submission in there with a few of the guys in the group, and our value service, which we've had quite a few cards on, it's not even been processed yet. And they're saying it's taking 12 to 15 weeks to even get in the system. So we don't even know if it's actually reached PSA. Well, I know it's reached PSA because I did FedEx. So I know it's there, but it's not in the system yet. So it's taking 12 to 15 weeks it took 12 to 15 weeks to even get it into the system, which is obviously not great. And they've got a backlog of, I think it was at least 12 million cards. So we've got the lowest tiered service that they offer of 12 million cards. You can expect that we'll be waiting a while for those cards. Whereas similarly, we've got a few on the Express. We had, in that same submission, we had 5 on the Express, 5 cards on the Express, which are now actually integrating. And I think we actually got really lucky there, because they went through the process quite fast. But it was in the same box, so it's just astonishing. Like I said, that happened probably 3 weeks ago, to then the value service, which might not even be looked at until the end of May. So again, just anyone who's on the chat who's had that submission, that's why you've not got an update, because there's literally nothing to update, because it's not even being processed yet. It's not even entered into the system. So and I'm not looking at the Facebook, so I'm not seeing if any messages have come through. I will cycle back if there is any. So these services are obviously suspended, so you can't send to PSA until they say July. So July is when hopefully they'll have had a tiered system opening. So I'm guessing the Express will open up first, then the regular, then it'll probably be a while till the value one comes in. I'd imagine anyway, it'd be a while till the value one comes in. So if you are wanting PSA, the only one you can do is the Super Express, which through Brian, or the breaker that we use to submit our cards with, is going to cost you 188 quid per card. That is, but again, the Super Express is for your high valued cards anyway. So the ones that cost you thousands of pounds, you'll be using, you'll probably need to use this service anyway, the ones that get valued higher. So 188 pounds per card. Then for BGS, again, Super Express is the same. And some of these, by the way, are literally days. I've just kind of done a rough guide on what you can expect. And again, it's a changing landscape, so it will change over time. So BGS, again, a few options. That's what you're looking for. Those are the prices you're looking for. Subgrades and no subgrades. So just to give an example, on this PSA card, you can just see it. This has obviously got no subgrades. This is just a grade 10. But BGS and CSG will have a mark for corners, a mark for surface, a mark for edges, and then it'll give you an overall mark for that. So people do like it is nicer to see the subgrades, but obviously it's then more expensive as well, because you're being marked individually on the whole thing, rather than just getting an overall grade. Someone looking at the card and saying, yeah, you've got good corners, you've got good edges, this is good. You get a 9. Or if you're doing this, if you do the subgrades, it'll be like, oh, you've got your corners are spot on, you've got a 10, your surfaces a 9 because there's a mark on there. This is a 9.5 and this is a 9, so your overall mark will be a 9.5 or something like that. So Yep. So and then SGC, and this is also I'd probably say in order of best to worst in terms of value. Someone may challenge me on that, but in best to worst, this being the best, most value for your money, to maximize the value, unless obviously it's a black label BGS 10, then that's higher than a PSA 10. But just again, just in general, this is not being specific at all. PSA is the best. Then that SGC has been around a little bit longer. I've put SGC there, but it's CSG. Have just come into the game basically, so they're new, and HGA they're another new one. I put them bottom for a few reasons. One because you can only submit 5 cards and it's a lottery, so it doesn't really work well with a group submission. If everyone wants to do HGA, first we have to get into the lottery, and then when we're in the lottery we can only submit 5 cards. So if most of the group wants to do HGA, it could be a long while before you at least try and get into the lottery to get your cards graded with HGA. So I've kind of just put all of them in red because there's literally no point. And CSG, like I said, they're brand new. All these you can check their website as well, what they look for. I think they've all got a pop report now, so you can see what cards have been graded with them. PSA, BGS obviously do. I think SGC do now, and one of these two have just done a new pop report, but I can't remember which. Let me go to some questions because just in case, and I'm not losing you guys. Oh well, that's good to hear, Nav. I didn't know that. So these prices. Just to let you know, these prices are from Brian. So these are the grader in the US. So these are not like with me with an additional fee with me or anything like that. This is literally just the price per card for that. And people who know Brian, there's a few people in this group. He is really fair with a lot of things. He's got great pricing on breaks and stuff like that. I'm sure a few people can vouch for him. So the reason why I'm going with Brian is because, again, I trust the way he does things. Very methodical, but he's really fair on pricing. So these are the prices with that. To go with PSA, it's like, it's $300 into Super Express. Same with that. Wait for it to come back. Processing could start within a week, but there are several stages. Might not get it back for 6. Yep. HA guaranteed 60 days. Guaranteed. The best by far, in my opinion. You see, so for a group submission, HGA will easily be by far, in my opinion, by far the worst. If on an individual basis, you like HGA, then absolutely. I think the lottery was yesterday, I believe. The lottery for HGA was yesterday. And like I said, you can only submit 5 cards. So we've got probably 15, 20 people in our group who want to submit cards through me. There's then the people who Brian submit with. And then again, so if you've got, let's say you've got just 10 people wanting to submit through HGA, the chances are most people are going to want to submit more than one card. They'll probably have a group of cards that they want to submit, but even to get to that stage, you still need to get into the lottery first, and everyone's getting in the lottery, and then it's kind of then a lottery between. Oh, it might not be a lottery between us, but it then be first come, first serve. So that's where it's just difficult for a group submission to HGA. They maybe, I don't like HGA. If I'm honest, I'm not a HGA fan, but a lot of people do like HGA. But as a group submission, I don't think it works. Well, it doesn't. It can't work because there's too many people who will want it for only a chance to try and get that. So that's kind of my only reason why I put them there. But I do know a lot of people do like HGA, and the prices are obviously really good as well. That's complete. 6, 11, 12. Wow. Right, let me check. I could be. It might be a mistake by me, guys. Let me bear with me. Let me check. Just copied the. Just copied the numbers, but let me double check. It's only. It'll take me 2 seconds. Big. Oh, it's 315. Okay. Yeah, my number's wrong. But by the way, this is Big Sports Break card. So this is where the information is. So again, anyone can go on this website. Big Breaks Sports Cards. They're on Facebook as well. Let me just do a quick calculation. What it is? It's 229. Let me change that. So 229, which I think is still fair, still a fair price. So yeah, thank you for that, guys. That was my mistake. Bear with me. Let me get the page back. Yeah, I would. I mean, again, you can try, but it'd be cheaper for you to do it yourself. Whoever wants to go with HGA. Nothing against HGA. It's just as simple as even as one person. So even as a group submitter, you only get 5 cards. So when you're submitting for a whole group, that's 5 card is nothing. And it's not all that. It's not just that. It's then the fact that you've then got to be lucky enough to get in, because it's only, I think, I could be totally making up, but is it like 1,400 cards or 2,000 cards they accept a week? And if you think of places like PSA who are accepting millions of cards, and they got 2 million or 3 million cards within 3 days, and then they've been submitted since. There's a lot of people who are going to try and get HGA. So to get in the lottery, it's literally a lottery. So that's why it just doesn't work for a group submission. They have the costs for more than 5 cards, but it is actually only 5 cards that you can do, which is weird. I think it just must be when they scale up and they open it up, they're saying this is what they cost. They had 500. Oh, okay, that's good. But still, it's still a small amount. And I think because they actually have an amount for 50 plus card submission, but you can't submit 50 cards. It's just there on the website. But what I would definitely suggest is, if you are doing that, to do it on your own, because again, you can go into the lottery on I think it's on a Thursday. No, sorry, what day are we on? Wednesday. On a Tuesday, and go for it. But as a group submission, it won't work. So moving on. All PSA servers are now $100. Oh, no. So no. So PSA, the tiers have closed. So the value, regular, and express is not open anymore. They're only doing the Super Express, which is $300 per card. The other services, they increased it by 100%. So it was $10, and now it's $20 or whatever it was, or $15 and $30. So it's increased 100%, but it's not, the minimum isn't 100 cards. The ones that did increase quite rapidly was SGC. Theirs was I think theirs was like $25 a card, and they moved up to $80 a card. Yeah, the regular is 100. So the regular went from 50 to 100. And their value went from 10 to 20, which is just crazy. But again, it didn't stop people submitting the cards through them, which is crazy. So yeah, so that's the prices per card, and obviously I'll make sure I'll double check these to make sure that they're all correct. But these are all prices per card, and then it's appetite for how quickly you want your cards back. Really, do you want them back really quick, or are you trying to get them back for the Euros? You're trying to get them back at some point before the World Cup. So yeah, those are the services. Now, what I charge is I'll be charging £10 per submission. So if you're sending in one card, it's going to be £10. If you're going to send in 100 cards, it's going to be £10. All in just one delivery. That's a price that is honestly pretty much plucked from thin air, because I don't know how many cards I'm going to get. I don't know the price that we're going to need to cover for insurance, which is really, really hard to, anyone who's tried to insure the cards in the UK, it's really, really hard to do. I've got insurance, so when the cards are with me, all your cards are insured, which is fine. But to get card insurance, it's quite difficult in the UK. So especially because it's difficult because values change, and basically you have to change your insurance. Or the one I have, you have to change your insurance like every 3 months, because the value of collectibles changes, obviously, from week to week, from month to month. So that then covers the shipping. So shipping to Brian in the US and shipping back to us, that's what is included in that price as well. And then if you are wanting me to look at your cards and have a clean of the card, and give you what I think is if something can be a 10 or a 9, from my experience, my opinion, then it would be 75p per card. I think you got the CSG flipped around. What, in the letters here? Yeah, I realized that. That was my bad. I will change that. Oh, do you mean? Oh, sorry, the pricing. Yes, yeah, you're right. Sorry, that should be subgrades. But anyway, sorry. Yeah, it's this is just an idea, yeah, of what it is. So apologies if it is incorrect. This will be just a guide. It should be right, but again, I literally just did this today, so if there is any mistakes, I will look at it after. And if anyone is really interested in just in any particular service, then we can go through that, which then leads me on to how it's stored. So this is basically the upgrades are more expensive, yeah. This is basically how I've stored the previous submission. So this is for PSA. This is something that you will fill in. So you'll give us the name, the year, and then this is going to be filled with the different type of services you want. So if you want a different service for each card, you can have a different service for each card. If you think that there's any damage on, again, it just helps me look at the card more and see, okay, this is going to grade in a certain way. Do we hold the cards? Again, I may have cards that you've broken with me. So just need to know that. Obviously, if you have shipped your cards, and the grades that you are looking to expect. Now, one thing PSA do, one thing PSA do is you can ask them not to encapsulate the card if you don't get a PSA 10, but you still need to pay the price of that card. So you can put an expected grade on there of 9 or 10, and if it grades below that, then they won't grade the card, and then they will just return it. But you still have to pay the price of whatever that service you've used is. Okay, this is then also going to be filled. This is also then going to turn into a tracker. So there'll be other information on here of where it's up to. So I will keep a track of where the card is up to. When it's being released, because like I said, the way Brian does it is he submits to a grading card company on different weeks. So once that's been happening, he will then inform me. I will then update the spreadsheet, and I probably will work it out, because with this, I want to be a bit more meticulous of the way it's run. Is you'll probably then get an email of where your submission is. Like I said, it's been really hard with the PSA submission because there's been so many changes to PSA in the last 3 months. There's no like set process, because it would have changed 3 or 4 times if I had one already in place. And like I said, we're already waiting. I think we submitted in February. We just submitted before the price hike. So we submitted in February, and we're still waiting for some of the cards to be graded. So again, it's a little harder to get the to get the correct process going. So that's it really. Not used to BGS have like 2-day trading, right? Yeah, they have quick turnarounds. I think Logan can verify. I don't know if they still have walk-ins, but they have walk-ins where you can just walk in. But obviously, that's not something. Well, the thing is, we could do that in the UK. We could do that in the UK. So, like, if you sent me the cards and I sent them over to Brian, he could then do it in 2 days. But you would need to wait until that time in the month when he sends them back, because obviously the reason why then the shipping will be cheaper is because it will be a group submission. It'll be a group delivery to Brian. So then each month it'll basically be one coming back to us, one going to Brian each month. So if you did use the 2 days, you can use the 2 days. But if we only receive packages on the 30th of the month, and that was sent on the 2nd, you still got to wait 20 days to receive that package back. Not since COVID. All right, cheers, mate. I'm gonna do. Yes, mate. Dallas next year, definitely. We'll stop at Logan's house. So that's kind of it, guys. That was just a rundown of basically what to look for, expected prices. Expected prices. I can send anyone this in an email. Like I said, I will check, and apologies for a few mistakes there. Thank you for picking it up on it. But that's basically what you're looking for per card. It's not a cheap thing to do. But if you're looking to sell your cards, you kind of have to do it. You do it to maximize the value of what you can get. So if anyone has any more questions, then just send me a DM. Send me a DM, and then we can go through it. I will be looking to do a submission the end of next week. So if you are wanting to grade your cards and send it to one of these grading card companies, send me a message after, and then we'll discuss the next steps, because the aim will be to send it off to Brian next Friday, which is, I don't know the date. I have no idea what the date is. MLS spot's gone yet. Excited for it. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. If there's only like one left, I'll take another. I've got one myself. I don't mind taking another. But yeah, so I hope. Oh, how many we've got? 1, 2. So I think there's 2 left. I think there's 2 spots left. I said I'll take one if needs be. And then give it 10 minutes, and then what I'll do is I'll end up running the teams, and then I'll stay on chat, and we'll have a little bit of a 2 minutes, and then we'll get breaking. So yeah, so thank you very much, everyone. I hope that's been of some sort of help. And if there is anything else, send me a DM. First submission will be going out next Friday. So yeah, so let me know. So that's it. Oh my god, 51 minutes. That's crazy. Yeah, let me know what you think, and I will speak to you in the MLS break, which will happen, I'm sure, within the next 10 minutes. All right, guys, speak to you soon.